Today we are going to be removing the front sprocket, the rear sprocket, and the chain. The first thing that I'm going to do is remove some of the bolts in that cover, and I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty on it. But this cover, we have to reach the sprockets. There's a bunch of bolts, and you can use a 8mm socket and an extension like this to reach in. Is the bolt for the shifter, and I'm just going to hit it with a 10mm shifter, and it's out. You know, there's one down here. Remove this. You don't lose these bolts. I've been guilty of that. This is the push rod. This is what tends to break. I'm just gonna push it in a little bit. This is your sprocket, your counter sprocket, I believe that's what it's called, the chain, and then you have this big nut here. You also have a washer over here you have to bend into place in order to get the sprocket out. Washer here inwards. Rubber mallet, and then just rotate it. Now you're going to need one of these. It's a 32mm socket. Is put something here between the spokes. I have this kind of wedged in there, so I am going to try and unbolt this. Before I used air pressure. This is what I'm going to use to remove the bolt. Make sure you hold it pretty well, and that's pretty much it. Here is the bolt. Now we have a washer here, and it comes out pretty easily. Access to the sprocket, and you see it just comes out really easy. Air tools, if you have them, they're much easier. Don't be like me, buy a chain and sprockets. It is kind of true what they say. You will wear out your sprockets much faster in chain if you don't change everything at the same time. Remove this cotter pin. It's kind of messy. Then you have a washer in here. You have, this is how you adjust your chain anyway, but I am going to, instead of tightening it, as I am now, I am going to, oh, no, that's tightened, okay. Just back this bolt as much as I can, and you see this little plate is coming out, and if you want you can remove it, but this will let you slide the chain and loosen it up. Let's loosen this one. As you guys can see here, the chain is really loose, and I can actually just even remove it from the sprocket this way. And take a soft mallet, and here's the washer and the plate. Put that aside. The rod coming out. Let's put the chain to the side and see if we can bring it back. Make sure you don't lose these spacers that will pop out. The brake lever is on this mount. I'm just going to rest the caliper on top of the swing arm. Sprocket sits like this on the wheel. By the way, this is a JT sprocket. It's a steel sprocket, and it's a 47 tooth. If you look at the teeth of the sprocket, you can tell they're symmetrical, for example. And there's a lot of space. They're pretty much in the center, and the holes are very round. When you look at the worn sprocket, and it is a little bit hard to see, but if you put your finger, there's some sprockets, actually the tops have come off. There's some that are missing, like in the tips. And they are not symmetrical. That's the thing that you want to look for, is asking yourself if the sprockets are symmetrical. And these are not. They have more wear on the side with the power the chain kind of rolls to. So this is definitely pretty worn. And it would only be a matter of time before the tips of the sprockets would be coming out. I'm going to use a 9/16. So that are the bolts. What we're going to do is take your sprocket out, drop the new one in. These. Sprocket is in. To remove this front one. Let's remove this front one. And it should just slide out. And then we have to break the chain. And that is the counter sprocket. You can tell it's got the same wear pattern. What I'm going to use to break the chain is this tool. There. It's broken. There we go. Alright guys, here I have the new chain. It's a X1R motorcycle chain, black steel, whatever, GT chain. And on the floor I have the old chain. So what I'm going to do is just line it up, make sure it's the right size. I might have to remove one link. So chains typically come in two styles, the rivet and then the master link. This is a rivet style, but I'm actually considering putting the master link style. That's the old sprocket right here. This is the new sprocket. Run, the wheel is in. Now we need to put the chain in, and yeah, I think that will work. So guys, I have pretty much finished removing one more link from the chain that I ordered in order for it to fit. So this chain comes with the rivet style, and what's included in the rivet are a packet like this with the chain wax and 4 O-rings, and then there's this bit and this. The way the rivet works is that you use a tool to compress these two metal plates together, and it pretty much becomes as strong as having a chain. Like, it's a really good system, and a lot of people prefer this. So this is the master clip, and you can see it's all oiled up and it's got wax. So I was thinking about it, it's like, why put this master link when I've had the chain pop before? So I had a leader bike, an R1, and I was doing a wheelie, and I put a master clip, but the v-strom is not that powerful. It shouldn't have any problem with this master link at all. So I think I am going to try this out. It's a much simpler way of installing a chain. I am tempted to put this one, is that I am looking into getting a front wheel hitch mount for my pickup truck in case I go on a trip. And what I would want is to remove the chain quickly so there's not wear on the chain and sprockets. So I'm thinking that the master clip, while I have the chain, I'm putting in a new chain. I'm going to try this out because this would be a very convenient way of removing the chain and have it a way to haul my bike out to Deals Gap, where I intend on going for a few weeks, maybe even months. O-rings. I'm going to slide them in. This is going to be the back part. I'm going to slide the other one in. And it's already waxed up. And we're going to fit it in the back of the chain going this way. Put it on. I'm going to go to the back here. And let's see. It's a little hard with one hand, but let's see if I can do it. And here we go. It's in there. It's coming out. So as you can see, this pops out quite a bit, right? Because there's like a little cuts in this master link that are going to be holding the other side of the metal like this. But what we need to do is make sure that our O-ring is nice and oily. Put the O-ring here, push it in. Make sure there's no debris on your chain here. We have to use this metal bit. And so this is my chain tool, and I've used it quite a bit over the years. So the way this works is that this will compress the chain together, and there's these little holes in these plates. You definitely don't want to make this too tight, but there we go. I think that might be it. I might need some, and there we go. Look, and I think that's it. That's pretty much it. This should be nice and solid in there. I'm gonna push it. So the first thing that goes in is the washer, like this, and then we're gonna take, that's pretty good. Now we just have to tighten it and bend the washer this way, that way it won't fly out. And you see I'm just doing it by hand for now until it's tight on there. Hopefully we won't forget something. Forget, this is your safety for the kickstand, so you can start the bike. Make sure that this is looped like this. There's like this little bit of wire and you clip it on. Alright guys, so I've gotten the clutch, I believe, the way I want it. Last thing to do is really just adjust the chain. You use these, push them in, make sure that the chain is nice and tight. Roll it, and then use, and I've already measured the chain and everything. In a way, I kind of think I should have removed another link, but I think it's pretty good. And now I just tighten this using a very large wrench like this with a lot of leverage. Pin through here. And we're good. Hope you enjoyed my chain and sprocket put on, including the levers. I'm gonna go for a spin and I'm gonna see how everything feels, and let's go. Man, the last chain and sprockets I had, they were so noisy and you can't hear the drive at all now. It's incredible. It's like a night and day difference. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That was how to add a chain and sprockets on the DL650. This sort of thing really applies for all sorts of motorcycles with chains. It's the same process for everything. You just have to make sure that you read the owner's manual and things like that, but it's pretty much the same. And it's a very straightforward process. It's just kind of messy, and I don't really like to get this messy on, but you really just have to do this maybe 20,000 miles or something like that. So it doesn't require that much. But once you do it, you're kind of like, oh man, I'd rather have a bike that's got a shaft drive, because then you just have to change the oil on the shaft drive. But on these, you have to remove all of this sort of stuff and add chains and sprockets once in a while. It's a good method of getting power to the ground, but if you want a maintenance-free bike or a low-maintenance bike, a shaft drive is one of the better ways to go about it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and make sure you watch some more videos. Alright, thanks. I'll see you in the next video.